Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by Her Excellency, Madam Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, the former Assistant to Foreign Minister. A very good afternoon to you, Madam Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us this afternoon. And of course, to discuss the latest developments with regards to the diplomatic activity of the Foreign Minister, Sou'ad Shukri, who has recently spoken at length about the war in Gaza and said in Brussels that Egypt completely rejects the idea of the displacement of the Palestinians in Gaza to Egypt. How do you see this flurry of diplomatic activity by the Foreign Minister in this regard, Madam Ambassador?
As you know, there are continuous bilateral and joint programs and projects between Egypt and EU. And this meeting between Sameh Shukri and our Minister of Foreign Affairs was co-chaired by the High Representative of EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy,
yes,
and the Vice President of EU, Joseph Borrell. So this one, Joseph Borrell, is the EU High Representative of Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. So this meeting was held on the sidelines of the 10th session of the Egyptian European Participation Council.
Yes.
And it is also the 20th anniversary of Egypt and EU Association Agreement between Egypt and European countries. So EU countries are important for Egypt, and that is why the message that Minister Sameh Shukri is giving to the EU partners, whether they are ministers of foreign affairs or commissioners, it is very important for them to know the position of Egypt regarding the displacement of Gazans. And he was very firm about that, and he also reaffirmed that Egypt is not blocking any humanitarian assistance. On the contrary, Egypt is mediating ceasefire in Gaza, and comprehensive ceasefire. That means that the humanitarian assistance should have been going very smoothly without any blockage. And it is important to know that Egypt's role is very important in the Middle East. That is why Minister Sameh Shukri was firm in giving the EU partners in Europe, the ministers of foreign affairs, giving them the truth of the position of Egypt, the candid relations between Egypt and Europe, European countries, gave him an opportunity to express his in the dialogue with several ministers, discuss with them the regional issues, the mutual interest between the Egyptian and the European sides in the Middle East crisis.
Absolutely. Madam Ambassador, also, as you mentioned, the Egypt-EU Partnership Council is a very fruitful partnership in different fields. And the Council said, investments worth $5 billion are being planned in the near future. And many EU companies are continuing to look for bigger investments in Egypt in different cooperation fields. How do you see the economic side of this partnership, Madam Ambassador?
Well, it's very important. The partnership between Egypt and the European Union is very important. It's Minister Shukri was there to enhance the bilateral cooperation. Also, he was there for also to achieve a comprehensive strategic partnership because the importance of upgrading the relations between Egypt and the European Union would impact on the economic and the regional economic relations and trade relations. So Egypt has requested and has focused on upgrading the relations to become comprehensive strategic partnership between Egypt and EU, and this proposal was supported by the EU partners, and they want to upgrade because this will fall on different sectors: economic, security, trade, climate, cultural. All fields will benefit if the strategic partnership is upgraded.
Yes, indeed. Also speaking about the energy field, which is a very valuable benefit to European countries. Council saying Egypt, of course, one of the promising countries in the field of clean energy production. How important do you see this form of collaboration between Egypt and EU countries?
Of course, energy is on the top list of the cooperation between Egypt and EU countries, and Minister Shukri has expressed his hope for an active and significant participation of European companies in the investment in the conference that will be held this year for investments. He was trying to, of course, attract European companies to invest in the field of energy in Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Finally, Madam Ambassador, the Foreign Minister also held a meeting with the NATO Secretary General, which they tackled means of boosting consultation in mutual issues of concern, and they spoke about the role and the partnership for Egypt in maintaining security and stability in the region, the vital role played by Egypt. How do you see the importance in this regard of ties between Egypt and the EU?
As you know, the Egyptian position is very balanced, and this has been noticed by all the partners in Europe, and that is why when the meetings between Minister Shukri and the NATO had started, they were mainly focused on the issues of security and also tackling the different problems or different crises that are facing the region, whether it is Libya, whether it is Sudan, Iraq. Of course, on the top of the agenda is the Gaza war, and this has been on the negotiating table between the Minister Shukri and the EU ministers, and he was asking to support Egypt's position to achieve a comprehensive ceasefire in Gaza and to continue to send the humanitarian aid without blockage, and also to reach a comprehensive peace process that will ensure the two-state solution and ensure that no Gazans are displaced or are coming to have another homeland, because they are insisting to stay in their country, and they want to have a peaceful Gaza independent with the West Bank. So the two-state solution was in consultation between Egyptian minister and the NATO representative, NATO head of.
Right. On that note, I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, our former Assistant Foreign Minister and our guest for this afternoon. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and your insight, and for joining us on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. A short break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back for more. Do stay tuned.